my name is Mr. Richie. I am from Super Science, Tennessee, and today we are going to run through some really fun and safe Halloween experiments that you can do along at home with your kids and have a lot of fun this Halloween. So we are going to go step by step through our experiments. Feel free to pause this tape or video as you're watching it so you can get ingredients, get the supplies you need, and have a fun time at home with your family. Now the first experiment, normally we have a lot of interaction. Obviously we can't do that at the moment with COVID, so we're going to try and make the best of it, but normally for this experiment I get a volunteer. So we'll maybe use our dinosaur down here. I don't know if you can see our skeleton dinosaur. But we are going to do an experiment using some water. So to start our Halloween fun, I am going to show you some special science power, and I am going to make some of this water completely disappear, okay? Now, you might see that I have 3 cups here that are all the same. So if you want to do this at home, you can use 3 Sol cups if you want, or just 3 cups that are all the same. We're going to pour the liquid into one of these cups. So this is just regular water, okay? You can see it maybe splash off. So we're going to pour this into one of the cups. Everybody watch very closely to which cup I pour this into, okay? So we're going to pour the water in. Fantastic. So it's not in this one, it's not in this one, and it's in this one right here. So this is the cup that you need to watch, okay? Now I'm pretty good at this, so I'm going to start by moving the cups around, okay? So again, watch the cup with the water. Don't let me confuse you. It might be in any one of these. And I'm going to ask our cameraman to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, so let's have a look at home. Is it in this cup? We don't know. Is it in this one? Again, not sure. This one? Yeah, you're probably right at home. This is where the water is right now. So again, you've had a practice. Now watch right for the real round. Here we go. I'm going to go super fast this time. Remember, the water's in this cup, right? All right, here we go. Round and round we go. Everybody watch the water. And again, could you tell me or give me a stop? Perfect. So let's have a look. Is the water in this one? Now I'm going to be brave and I'm going to try it on myself. Now obviously if you have a volunteer, you can try and pour this over their head. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, no water in that one. Is it in this one? So we'll have a look again. All right, everybody at home, give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Oh, not in that one. So that means it has to be in this one here, okay? So I'm going to come up front and let's have a look. Here we go. Give me a countdown at home. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and look, you can see the water is not there. It has completely disappeared. So we're going to put this back down and let's see. It's not under this cup. It's not under this cup, and it's not under this one either. So that's our first experiment. Now, the secret behind this experiment. Before we started, I actually used a special science powder that you can find at home. I used diaper powder. We put just a little bit of diaper powder in the bottom of this cup. So if you have a diaper at home, a baby's diaper, rip it open, you will find a white powder. Sprinkle some of that in the bottom of the cup. When you add the water reacts with the diaper powder and it becomes a hard gel-like substance. This sticks to the cup so it won't come out, and then if you touch this, it will keep you dry. So you can let everybody feel this after this experiment, and it has actually turned the water into this soft gel. And again, that is from diapers. And this experiment, or this powder, is used by astronauts when they go to the toilet in space. Gross, right? Okay. Now, we are going to move on now to show you my favorite thing in science. Now, you will need to have a grown-up buy these supplies, okay? So for the next part of our show, we are going to focus on my favorite substance, which is called dry ice. Now, dry ice is available at Publix and at Kroger. You do need to be 18 years old or above to get it because, again, it is very dangerous. It is one of the coldest things in the whole world. So if you touch it with your skin, for 1 second, it will burn you very badly. You can see, hopefully at home, let me come a little closer again. Maybe you can see the smoke. It is made of gas. So this is melting right now. It's actually sublimating, turning from a solid into a gas. Now, one of the first things, again, we can't touch this with your skin, so I've got a very thick glove on. So if you do want to try this at home, you have to be mega careful and safe. Now, the first experiment I do, we're going to create some dragon breath, okay? So if we've got little ones at home, make sure our kiddies hold their hands behind their back so they're not tempted to touch out. And then very simply, if you walk around, you can let everybody blow. And you create dragon breath by making the dry ice melt a lot quicker. You look a little like a fire-breathing dragon. So that just gets us started, showing us that the dry ice is super cold and made of gas. Now, the next experiment we're going to do with it, we are going to use some quarters. And we are going to see if we can make these quarters come to life, okay? So everybody's probably got some quarters in your house. Maybe look under your couch cushions. So Mr. Richie's just got 3 regular quarters here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub each one in my hands, or I'm going to put all 3 in my hands. So if you want to try this at home, everybody put your hands together and let's rub. Rub, 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 rub. Now you should feel it get hot in your hands. And if you want to touch your cheeks, again, your hands should feel warm. That is friction. When things rub together, they can create heat. So we're going to make these coins nice and hot. Now, we're going to start off with one of our coins and our dry ice. Now, again, you'll need a grown-up to help you because you don't want to ever touch the ice. We're going to push the coin into the dry ice, and this coin is going to come to life. It is going to scream, "Ah!" Then it's going to start dancing. I know that's pretty scary dancing. So here we go. Watch at home. We carefully push it down. 1, 2, 3. Now this one's not screaming a whole lot. Oh, but you can see it is actually shaking and dancing pretty good. So this one is shaking and dancing fantastic for us. He didn't scream a lot. Let's see if one of our other coins will scream and give us the sound. Oh, that's what I was looking for. So you can hear it scream as we push it down, and then it begins to shake and dance all on its own. And this is just a regular quarter. We'll do the last one. So again, what happens is when you make it hot, we'll rub it, rub it, rub it. It's going to melt a hole in the dry ice. That's the screaming sound. Then the gas comes out of the hole and it hits the coin and it makes it start to dance. So that gas is hitting the side of the coin, making it dance. Now, if you look, we've got the first 2 coins at home. I'm not sure, hopefully you can see, but they're actually starting to turn white. They're starting to freeze. They've only been on the ice for a few seconds, but these coins are actually freezing now. So we can never ever touch the dry ice because again, that is 109 below zero. So cold it'll burn you. But you can let everybody feel the quarters. So ask everybody to hold their hand out very carefully. Ooh, and it feels like an ice cube. Ah! So you only want to hold them for a few seconds. Ooh, it's cold. As that, pass it around, let everybody get a little feel, and you can feel how cold those coins turn after being on the ice. Fantastic. Now, at Halloween, we like to do lots of decorations. People like to create lots of cool things, maybe using balloons. So I'm going to show you how to make or grow your own ghoul. So we're going to try and grow a ghoul today. Alrighty. to do this, you need a balloon. So Mr. Richie has got a white balloon. I've painted or drawn a little face on this with some permanent marker. And we are going to use a little container like this. This is a film canister. You can use any small container you think a balloon will fit over the top of. So we have our film canister and we have our balloon. Now, we are very carefully going to put on my glove, and I am going to need to create some little pieces of dry ice. So I'm going to hold my glove, I'm going to use a hammer, and we're going to break this up into little pieces. And we're going to drop these little pieces of ice into our film canister or little cup. In they go. Okay, now, right away, if I blow into here, you might see the gas come out. So have a look. It's a little hard to see. Now, this should happen pretty quick though at home, folks. So we have my balloon. We're going to open him up, put it over the top. And now we just wait. So the dry ice is inside my container. If I shake it, you can hopefully hear it. If you shake it and hear something, that means this ghoul is going to be growing. So right now, slowly, if I hold it this way, he's upside down, but you can see slowly he's starting to fill up. The ice inside is melting. It's created a huge gas cloud, which is being trapped by a ghouly ghost. And you can see in a minute he's going to pop up and start to look a little bit like a hot air balloon. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a hot air balloon in the sky, but I think this is going to start to look like a big hot air balloon. Are you going to do it? He's thinking about it. He's still not sure. There we go. So he starts to pop up and get big now. So what we're going to do, once we get to this stage and he's standing up, you're going to turn your ghoul upside down and you're going to try and get the dry ice inside your ghost and ghoul. So, perfect. So now the balloon, our ghost, is full of dry ice. We are going to tie this in a knot. And we shall check back on him in a little bit and see exactly how big he gets while I shake it. Again, if we can hear that, it's going to keep getting bigger. If you shake it and it doesn't make a sound, then that means all the ice is gone and it won't get any bigger. Now, boys and girls, if you hear a pop, that means I put too much ice in it and it exploded. That might be a little scare for later. So we're going to put this back here just to be safe for right now. Now, speaking of ghosts, I'm going to show you some flying ghosts. So again, over here you might see on this corner of the table, Mr. Richie has 3 little cups with lids on. These are called film canisters. You used to be able to get these at Walgreens. Now you really have to get them on Amazon. It's easiest just to get some delivered. So these are film canisters with lids on. I've drawn some little ghost faces on them. And what we're going to try and do is this time we're going to use something again that you've probably got around your house, but you will need a parent's permission. This is an Alka-Seltzer. So we're going to do an Alka-Seltzer experiment. This is something you take if your tummy doesn't feel good. Now, to begin with, we're going to take off our lids. So we take the lids off each ghost. So they're nice and tight. We need them to be nice and tight. And we're going to break our Alka-Seltzer into pieces. So we break each one into pieces. And then we're going to add a little bit of water into each one of our ghosts. So just enough to cover the bottom. So just enough to cover the bottom. And we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now you might want to do this outside if you do this at home. I'm in the library, so I don't really mind if we blow the ceiling off. But if you're at home, you might want to do this outside, okay? These are going to blast off pretty high. Now, when you do this again, I would suggest doing this with a grown-up. Mr. Richie's going to try to do all three, okay? So, you've broke up your Alka-Seltzer pieces. You've put water in each one of our containers. We are now going to drop the Alka-Seltzers in. Let Mr. Richie just have a look above. Okay, I think we've got enough room. All right, everybody, here we go. Let's see if our ghosts are going to fly. On goes one. On goes two. And let's have a look. Oh, I didn't get the second one on. Whoa! So we had two go. You can see Mr. Richie didn't quite get our second one. So I'm going to be very safe. You can see it's bubbling. So I'm going to stay away from it right now. The worst thing I could do is to go over it. So very carefully, I'm going to come from the side and... Oof. So this one, friends, didn't blow up and fly because this container had a little hole in it somewhere. So the gas escaped. That's why these two did explode. If you have a close look, you can see that it is creating bubbles. When the water hits the Alka-Seltzer, it creates the bubbles, and those give off gas, which makes our ghosts fly around. Okay, very cool. As I say, that one is probably best to do outside. Now this next experiment is probably one that you couldn't do at home. This is a bit of a, well, it is a very dangerous piece of equipment Mr. Richie has here. I have got something called a bed of nails, okay? So I have got my contraption. We have got one board with one nail. And we have a board with 100 nails. And we are going to see how each one affects a balloon. So these are the same balloons, both white balloons from the same pack, okay? I'm going to blow each one up about the same size. So we want the balloons to be almost, well, as identical as we can. So we've got one, which we'll put in our head there, and stretch and blow. Let's have a look. Bit more, right? Let's have a look. What do we think at home? A little bit more. Perfect. Okay. So we've got our two balloons, which hopefully are as close to being the same as we can get them, okay? Ooh, that one does look a little bigger, but we're going to try it anyway. So what we're going to do first, we have got one nail. Now again, never ever try this at home. This is just a Mr. Richie super science experiment. We are going to use our one nail and we're going to put our balloon on. Now, at home, what do you guys think is going to happen if I push down? I'm going to use just my little finger. Cameraman, what do we think is going to happen?
Should pop.
It's going to pop, so let's have a look. Woo! Now, super easy to pop. Pretty loud, a good pop, okay? Now, this time then, we are going to change the one nail for the 100 nails. Now, for this one, guys, you might want to cover your ears. The last one was pretty loud. This time we've got 100 nails. So, this time, we are hopefully going to get the same thing. Now, let's have a look. We're going to put this on the same. Again, we want everything to be the same. I'm going to start with one finger, my little finger again. Now, let's see. This one's going to be loud. I'm pushing down. Oh, hold on. It's not popping. We've got 100 nails. Okay, let me try 2 fingers. Still not popping. Let me put my whole weight on it, okay? So watch the balloon as we push. You can see the balloon is stretching. It does not pop, even though there are way more nails. What happens on a bed of nails, if you ever see one of these, sometimes a human can lie on this and it doesn't hurt them, because what happens is, instead of the nail pushing in one spot, it pushes over lots of spots, not as hard. So the pressure isn't as great, so you can really give this some push. And it will not pop. Just to show you again that it's not a fake balloon, we will go back to our one nail. And very simply, just like I said, because there's just one point where the pressure is applied, it should pop. Super easy. So that, my friends, is the bed of nails. One nail can be a lot stronger and powerful than 100. We're going to put that out that way. Alrighty, now we're going to move on and we are going to make my first potion, okay? This is loads of fun. So if you've got friends at home, have them sit down and experience this. So Mr. Richie found this awesome skull head. You just need any sort of big cup or container to do this. So we're going to do it in our skull. We're going to break up some dry ice again. So using my hammer, we're going to pop it and break it into some pieces. In they go. In they go. And we'll create some space so we can see it nice and clear as well. Move this one out the way. A little spooky. Okay, now, the first thing that's going to look really cool is I'm going to add some water, okay? So I've got another little school pitcher here. So we're going to fill up our liquid. Now this is just warm water. So if you drew this at home, you want to try and use warm or hot water. You get a really good reaction by using warm water. So here we go. This is going to look cool straight away. All right, we are going to pour in. And you see the skull starts to fill and bubble. So you can hear it. You can see it bubbling or smoking. Now, we're going to use some of my super science liquid. And we are going to pour this in. Now, this added to our dry ice and water mixture becomes super science monster brains. And these brains are going to keep coming and coming. I don't know if you can see, we've got a dinosaur here, but what you can do is you can walk around. Oh, I've got my skulls here. That's what I brought you guys for. So if you walk around, you can put this on people's heads and you will have a bubble brain. So these brains are just going to keep on coming out of our skull's head, and they're really cool bubbles. They feel so nice. They're nice and cool, and one of the cool things is if you poke them, you see the gas and the smoke comes out. Now these are fun, but if I have too much of them, oh my gosh, big sneeze there. So you can see that is bubble brains, and I don't know if you can guess at home what my super science liquid is. Yeah, it's this soap. So have fun creating some bubble brains. Okay, now on that theme, we have a pumpkin here. So Mr. Richie, again, found this at the store. It's a plastic pumpkin. It didn't have any holes in, so very carefully with a grown-up, I cut out the holes, okay? So if you want to try this at home, you want to have a grown-up help you cut out the holes on your pumpkin. Now, we're going to make this look really cool. I put a little top on it to try and keep our gas inside and to make it airtight. We're going to break up our dry ice. So again, a lot of these experiments, we've been using this dry ice, which is so much fun. You just have to be very, very careful when you use it. Make sure you don't touch it again. So we fill in the bottom with our dry ice. We're going to get some warm water. And we are going to add this. Okay, so if we can have a good look, we're going to pour this in. And you can see your pumpkin starts to smoke and look like it's breathing fire. Now that's going to scare some trick-or-treaters, right? Awesome. So that's going to keep going for a while. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, I'm going to show just one more experiment for right now with our dry ice, okay? Now, when I was young, one of my favorite movies was a movie about people that fight ghosts. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was called Ghostbusters. So, what we're going to do, this is Mr. Richie's version of the weapon, the exo-blaster that they use to get their ghosts, okay? So, again, if you do this at home, you will need a grown-up, and I would suggest to go outside for this experiment. Now, first off, we are going to break up our ice again. And we are going to drop it into our container. So this is just a bottle that has a pop lid on. So again, if you want to do this at home, get a bottle with a pop lid, and we drop our ice in like so. Alrighty, that should be good. Now, we are going to use some water, and we are going to pour this in. So again, you want to do this outside. This can get very messy. We're going to pour this in. And we want to fill it up about 1/4 of the way with our water. You can see the smoke starts coming out of the top. That's what gas loves to do, guys. It loves to come out of an explorer space. We're going to pour in our super science liquid. And this, now with our lid on, becomes an exo blaster, which is going to shoot soap all over, and you can get everybody nice and soapy and get those ghosts. Fantastic. So, boys and girls, that is a lot of dry ice experiments. So I thought we would move on now to do some experiments that you can try at home again with your family that are a little bit more step by step, okay? So just give Mr. Richie 1 second. I'm going to clean up a couple of things off my table, and then we're going to start doing some real hands-on science. So we're going to move our dry ice. I hope everybody had a good time with that. Now, for our next experiments, we're going to tell you what experiment we're going to do. I'm going to give you the supplies. We're going to work through them step by step. So again, if you want to pause this at any time, feel free to pause it so you can keep up with our directions. So that looks okay. Now, to start with, we are going to, well, seeing though we do have still some dry ice, and I am pretty thirsty after doing all this talking, I think we'll start with making some super spooky soda, okay? So for this experiment, you need some juice. Any juice works, it's just not fizzy. Hawaiian Punch, this is from Publix, just some juice. You need a clear cup. I'm going to make a couple of them, and if you want to, you can add some food coloring just to make this a little bit more fun. So, all you do, very simple experiment, but there are some safety precautions to this. First off, you're going to pour in your juice. Now, I'm making these individually. You can also make this in a large scale, in a big pitcher, or in a big bowl if you want to do big amounts, okay? So if you have a party coming, you can do this in a pitcher and just do it one time and pour everybody out some of their spooky drink. We're going to do it in individual cups. So we've put in our juice. I'm going to add a little bit of food color. I think green looks good for some monsters. There we go. So we pour in our food color. So food color and juice so far. Now, I said we are going to use the ice again. So dry ice is made of gas. It's made of the same gas that's in fizzy drinks. If you ever get a can of soda and you shake it and then open it up, you're going to have a big mess on your hands because it's going to explode. That's because of the gas inside, carbon dioxide. Dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide. So by breaking this up with a hammer, we're going to use a little piece. So about this big if you want to do it individually, about the size of your thumb. And we're going to drop this in. And we're going to drop a piece in over here. And you can see straight away we have a reaction. So these are smoking. Now, the safety of these, you cannot drink these while the ice is inside. So if you are doing these individually like Mr. Richie is, you have to wait 10 minutes until you can drink it. It will take about 10 minutes for the ice to disappear. If you're doing it in a big pitcher, same sort of thing. You just have to wait for all the ice to disappear. Now, while you're waiting, you can smell the gas. Oh, that smells lovely. That smells of lemons. Mr. Richie got some lemonade again. It will smell of whatever flavor you get. You can blow into it and create your dragon breath. If the kids want to hold this to your ears, you can hear it bubbling as well. And again, after 10 minutes, I will try this and show you that it's very safe and very tasty to drink. So that is super spooky soda. We're going to put these over by our balloon. I forgot all about our balloon. Let's check on this. Oh, yeah. Look at our ghoul. So you can see our ghoul has got bigger. If you remember earlier in the show, we created this using some dry ice. If we shake it, we can hear it making some sound. So that means there is still some ice inside it. So our ghoul is going to get bigger. Now, boys and girls, I don't know if you're like me, I like to get a bit messy. So parents, I'm sorry, this might get a little messy now. We are going to see if we can make some vampire toothpaste. Now, for this, we are going to use a bowl. You definitely will need a bowl for this experiment. You will need an empty water bottle. So Mr. Richie has an empty water bottle here. We've taken the label off. That's going to go into the middle of our bowl. Other ingredients. You will need vinegar. You will need baking soda. You will need food coloring. And you will need some dish soap. So again, if you want to pause that, feel free, but you will need some vinegar, baking soda, some food coloring, and some dish soap. Now, we are going to start off with the vinegar. So I will just move it here so you can see at home. So white vinegar, we're going to pour this into our container. So I've got a funnel here just to make it a little easier. We're going to pour about a quarter in there. So there we go. That's about a quarter of the bottle with white vinegar. A little bit more just so we get a good one. Perfect. Then we add 2 to 3 squirts of dish soap. Any dish soap works. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. And we will stir that up. We are going to use a couple of squirts of food color. Again, you can use whatever you want. We're making vampire toothpaste, so I thought red would be a good color. There we go. We all know what vampires like to eat, right? There we go. So, oh, that's definitely looking good. Now, I'm going to place this into our bowl. And if you guys want to watch here at the top, okay? This is baking soda again, so you'll probably have this at your house. if I can get it open. Make sure you ask a grown-up to help you. So I'm going to put a little bit of this into a cup, and then we're going to add our baking soda. Now, friends, watch carefully. When I add this, I'm going to give it a quick swirl around. That's going to mix up our two substances, and we should be getting some vampire toothpaste. Okay, in it goes. We give it a real quick shake. Ah! I told you we were going to get messy, guys. So look, it comes shooting out. You can touch it. It just does get a little messy, so you will need to wash your hands. But you can see it comes shooting out and looks just like fluffy, airy toothpaste, okay? So whatever color you add is the color you will get. And if you try this at home, why don't you try using different amounts of vinegar, different amounts of baking soda, a couple more squirts of dish soap, and see if you can make bigger or smaller reactions. Again, we got a bit messy on that one. So I think we're going to have time for just a couple more experiments. So this next one, guys, this is one that isn't really Halloween-y. This is more of just a fun experiment for when it's raining. I know in the next couple of weeks the temperature's going to start getting cold and you're going to be stuck at home. So I have a mess-free tie-dye. This is my jacket, which is tie-dye design. So we're going to do a tie-dye design now. If you would like to do this experiment, you will need a cup. You will need a piece of white fabric. So you can use a t-shirt, a pillowcase, a bed sheet. Make sure you ask a grown-up. This is a bed sheet that Mr. Richie bought, just a white bed sheet that I've cut into little squares. You're going to stretch it over the cup, and you're going to attach it using a rubber band. So boys and girls, if you can see, we've got the cup, the fabric, which again is like the clothes that you wear. So this works on t-shirts, pillowcases, and bed sheets. We are going to do a design. So we are going to make a design using the primary colors. So when you do this, you want to make sure you use 3 colors. You want to get lots of color on there. But you also need to leave a bit of white space. So Mr. Richie is trying to put on some colors there, like so. I always find these 3 colors work the best. The primary colors, when they mix together, they can make new colors. You can use any colors you want to, but make sure you leave some white space. So everybody at home, we have got a cup, a rubber band, a piece of fabric. We used permanent markers. Now for the really cool science. We are going to add rubbing alcohol. So Mr. Richie has a dropper, a medicine dropper. Again, you'll probably find one of these at home. Ask a grown-up. We'll need a cup. So we're going to put a little bit of the alcohol in our cup. And then we're going to add this to our design. Now, it's best to leave it flat. I'm going to show you in a second. So we add 1, 2, 3. We add about 10 drops right in the center. As you do that, the wet spot starts to get bigger. You add more and more alcohol, and the fabric starts to take the ink from the different markers, mixing it together with the alcohol, and you are starting to get some tie-dyeing. So we'll hold that there for a second. So you can see we've got some orange, we've got some green, we've got some purple right here. There's some more orange. I can still see the red, the blue, and the yellow. And this is tie-dyeing. This works again brilliant on t-shirts, pillowcases, bed sheets. After you do this experiment, make sure you put it in the washer, and then you can wear it or use it on your bed for as long as you want, okay? This experiment, again, make sure you definitely ask your grown-ups permission. Don't start coloring on anything. That'll get you in big trouble. And that is our tie-dye picture. Now let's have a look at drinks. So, to check our drink, from just looking at it, I don't see any dry ice in it just from looking, but I'm going to be doubly safe because it would be so bad if I drank dry ice. So I'm going to look at the bottom. There's no ice in the bottom. I'm going to look at the top. There's no ice at the top. So now I'm going to enjoy my Super Science soda. This hopefully should taste fizzy. Oh, that's delicious. That tastes just like Sprite, okay? Nice and cool, nice and refreshing. Super Science soda. You can make soda at home. Here is our ghoul, growing very big again. We can see he's going to keep getting bigger as we give it a shake. Now, the last experiment we're going to do, friends, I hope you've had a fun time with Mr. Richie today and got some great ideas for the Halloween season coming up. To finish off, I am going to do a little test of bravery. We are going to use our cauldron. Now, in here we have a lot of warm water. We're going to break up the rest of my dry ice, and in it goes. Now, as you see, it starts to smoke a lot. There we go. Now, what we can do, this looks awesome. If you sit around on the floor, you can see that the gas, instead of going up, it comes up, but then it goes down. So it will cover the floor. This gas, okay, if you want to, you can try and be brave. You can put your hand in. I'm just playing. It does not feel like anything. Doesn't even feel like a cloud. When you're as old as Mr. Richie, and again, this is just for grown-ups, if you hold your breath and close your eyes, whoa! Now everybody, I want to say a huge thank you for you watching today. I hope this has given you some great ideas. Hopefully you can do some tie-dye at home. You can make some vampire toothpaste. You can grow a ghoul. And we can also have some fun with our Halloween spook. My name is Mr. Richie. I am from Super Science, Tennessee. And I want to say a huge thank you to Williamson County Library for letting me come and show you my fun science experiments. Thank you guys, and everybody have a spooky Halloween.